Welcome to today's lesson where we're going to review slope and equations. The goals of today's lesson are that you can write an equation in slope-intercept form and that you can graph an equation in slope-intercept form. So let's look at the basics of graphing first. Here we've got a part of a coordinate plane. We've got the x-axis, which is the horizontal line across the middle of the graph here, and we've got the y-axis, which is the vertical line. And you can see that the graph is drawn on a grid. You would use graph paper, and each line in the grid is marked with a number. So 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, and the same on the y-axis. And the first thing we're going to do is write equations in slope-intercept form. And just to recall, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And so that's why it's called slope-intercept form. And we've got two equations here that we're going to put into slope-intercept form. So the first one on the left-hand side, x plus y equals 3. We want to isolate y on its own, so we will subtract x from each side. And x minus x is 0x, so we're left on the left-hand side with y, then your equal sign, negative x plus 3. And so our slope here is -1, and the y-intercept is +3. And let's look at the other equation. We've got 2x plus 3y equals 15. I want just the y variable on the left-hand side, so I'm going to subtract the 2x from each side. And 2x minus 2x is 0x, plus 3y equals -2x plus 15. And I want just y, not 3y, so I'm going to divide all terms by 3, and I will get y equals -2 over 3x plus 5. Now to graph these, the first one, y is equal to -x plus 3, is represented by the blue line here. This point here is the y-intercept, which is 0, 3. And the slope is -1. You go down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. Because it's negative, it's going down, like that. And the red line, -2 over 3x plus 5, you see the y-intercept is on 0, 5. And to get the next point, it's negative. You can see from Mr. Slope Guy here, the negative line goes like this. You can see it on the right-hand side here. So you're going to go down 2 and to the right 3, down 2 and to the right 3, and so on to draw that line. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. And if you're given an equation in standard form, like we had 2x plus 3y, I think it was, equals 15, we need to isolate y on its own on the left-hand side. And we can graph an equation by plotting the y-intercept first and then counting the rise and the run of the slope from there. And if you need help deciding whether your line should go up or down, look at Mr. Slope Guy. The positive lines go up and the negative line, as you look at it from left to right, and the negative lines go down as you look at it from left to right. So today you saw how to write an equation in slope-intercept form. It should be y equals mx plus b, with the y isolated on its own on the left-hand side. And you saw how to graph an equation in slope-intercept form. Graph your y-intercept, and then count down and across, or up and across if it's positive, but for negative slope, go down and then to the right. It'll be like this. And that's the end of today's lesson.